putting me in jail.
I told you
You
he
can go with my bailiff.
wants me to put you back. What?
Ma'am,
Okay.
to go now.
Yes.
Your Honor, we asked the court to set this down for final settlement and jury selection.
Jury final settlement conference will be set for June 5th, 2026, 9 a.m. Jury selection, June 8th, 2026, 8:30. Is there a,
There's a violation.
is there? Okay, in terms of the dates, both of those proceedings are in person. Let me see the bond violation. Do I have a copy?
You should.
Is there a particular place they're putting these now in the file? I know, I got it.
Approach and get it top, Your Honor.
You don't have a copy of it?
Look at one. Yeah.
Okay.
And you have these positive. Yes, Your Honor, I have a copy dated April 20th, 2026.
Yes.
Your Honor, she would admit to the violation.
She admits to the violations.
But Your Honor, she relapsed. She was going through some very, very serious things. Since, go ahead, Tim.
Oh, I was a very heavy alcoholic, and those first few days were extremely difficult on me, and I relapsed. I'm sorry, and I didn't think I was going to be able to afford everything that I just thought. I felt hopeless. I apologize. I know that doesn't mean anything, but since then I have not touched alcohol, and I feel a lot better, personally, physically, and mentally.
Are you in any type of treatment?
No, Your Honor.
We've discussed it, Your Honor. Would it be possible to put her on a scram?
I'm not going to do that at this point. Gonna have to set up gonna have to get something set up for her because she didn't make it and she was rather high through 2 days. High BAC through 2 days.
I did share this with her and we talked about it at length.
Get that information about where she's going to go into, but at this point, if you put something together, then I'll consider a method by which she might be on a scram tether or a sober link. But at this point, bond is revoked, defendant remanded.
He's putting me in jail.
I told you
You
he
can go with my bailiff.
wants me to put you back. What?
Ma'am,
Okay.
to go now.
Yes.
And Assistant Public Defendant Nicholas Bukovich on behalf of Mr. Watts in both matters.
Hold on. I only have one file.
Well,
I filed a nollie on the state's case. I wasn't sure if the court had received that yet. I still saw it on my docket, so.
Oh, okay. I must have, because I have 446 is the only case I have.
And that is the
All right.
township case. That's correct.
Got it. All right.
yes, Your Honor, and my client would like to, in the township case, would like to admit responsibility to double parking. He would only ask for leniency and fines and costs due to his current status of being incarcerated.
So that is correct, Your Honor. Move to add count 2 of double parking. If you accept that admission, move to dismiss the original charge.
Your name, sir?
Watts.
All right. Mr. Watts, do you admit responsibility to the fact that on April 17, 2025, at the location of Washtenaw Avenue in Pittsfield Township, Washtenaw County, State of Michigan, that you double parked a motor vehicle?
Yes, sir.
All right. Court will accept that admission to count 2. Count 1 is dismissed. Fines and costs of $180. That will be due 90 days after release. You got that?
Sure.
All right.
Really?
Thank you.
Joe Simon on behalf of Ms. Dooley, who appears by Zoom. Rebecca, state your name.
Rebecca Dooley.
I have before me a plea form that indicates that she's going to be pleading to operating while intoxicated second offense. That's count 3. Well, the 1-year offense. Upon her successful plea to that charge, count 2 would be dismissed.
This is the new complaint. Your Honor may remember this was a remand for this plea from.
Correct. And count 1 was already.
That's right. That's right. And also, Honor, on that plea form, I made sure Ms. Dooley has it electronically. I sent it to her. She gave me her authority to assign it on her behalf, but she's reviewed it.
The prosecutor will recommend community service in lieu of jail.
Right. So just to refresh the court, I know first memory is pretty shocking. It's great. She's relocated permanently. She did about over a year ago. I don't remember the exact span of time to was it North Carolina? But yes, North Carolina.
North Carolina?
And
So she's a Tar Heel.
and all of
That's right. I remember that.
yep, and all of her
I don't like Tar Heels.
all of her
My Maryland days. But go ahead.
I think
Mr. Simon. I'm
Turtle
sorry. I
like-
don't mean to
I-
interrupt you.
turtles like tarple. But anyways,
I don't
anyway,
even know what it is. It's odors. Anyway.
all the recovery that she's been doing, we're going to make sure gets to your probation.
Very. All right. Ma'am, if you can please raise your right hand to be sworn. Do you solemnly swear or affirm testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. State your name again for the record, please.
Rebecca Dooley.
All right. You can put your hand down. Ma'am, it is this court's understanding that you're going to be pleading guilty to the charge of operating while intoxicated second offense. That is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 1 year incarceration, a $1,000 fine plus court costs. The court could order rehabilitative services or community service that the court deems necessary. The court could order your vehicle immobilized, could order you to pay the cost of the prosecution as well as the cost of any emergency governmental services. You understand all of that, ma'am?
Yes, Your Honor.
And understanding that, do you still wish to plead guilty? Bless you.
Yes, Your Honor.
And to that charge, how do you plead?
Guilty, Your Honor.
And you understand that by pleading guilty, you will not have a trial of any kind.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you signed an advice of rights form or had one signed on your behalf?
Son,
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, any question regarding any of those rights?
No, Your Honor.
All right, you understand that you're giving up all of those rights, inclusive of the rights that are contained under paragraph 5.
Yes, Your Honor.
You understand you're giving up your right to appeal of right.
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you on probation or parole?
No, Your Honor.
Has anybody promised you anything other than what's been stated here today on the record to get you to flee?
No, Your Honor.
Anybody threaten you or coerce you?
No, Your Honor.
You're doing this voluntarily and of your own free will?
Yes, Your Honor.
And also because you believe that you're indeed guilty of this offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
On September 17, 2024, at the location of Washington Avenue in Pittsfield Township, Washington County, State of Michigan, were you operating a motor vehicle?
Yes, Your Honor.
Prior to operating that motor vehicle, did you consume intoxicating liquor?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you recall what you had and how much?
I drank vodka, but I do not recall how much, Your Honor.
All right. Were you stopped by the police or was there an accident?
There was an accident, Your Honor.
All right. Ultimately, the police arrived?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Were you arrested?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Were you taken to the hospital for a blood draw?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what were the results of that blood draw?
0.17, Your Honor.
All right. Do you have any reason to dispute those blood test results?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Had you previously been convicted of operating while intoxicated on or about November 13th, 2008 in the 61st District Court
Yes, Your Honor.
wait, is that the right?
or the April date? Which date are we?
We can use either one because we're past the April anniversary. That's what we wanted to do. So
Right.
so I guess technically for the charge, it should be the April date.
It would have to be, you're right. So were you convicted of operating while intoxicated on or about April 18, 2019 in the 61st District Court?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Ma'am, I do have to advise you that if between the time of my acceptance of your plea and the time of sentencing, if you commit misconduct as defined under the Michigan court rules, you could not withdraw your plea and the court would not be bound by any sentence recommendation or evaluation. You understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Counsel, are you aware of any other promises, threats, or other inducements which have led to this plea?
No, Your Honor.
And have I complied with the court?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will accept the defendant's plea to count 2 or to count 3. Count 2 is dismissed with count 1, so the record's clear, having previously been dismissed. Defendant is referred to Von Swartz for an alcohol screening and assessment and the victim's impact panel. Sentencing in this matter will be June 10th, 2026, 9 a.m. 9 a.m.
Your Honor, I know you want us to do it in writing, which we will, but we'll be requesting a Zoom appearance for that as well.
Yes, I understand.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Hold on a second. Do I have probation entered? All right. So, ma'am, hold on the line. We're going to put you into a breakout room with my probation department so we can start the process.
And if
okay?
the Von Sports assessment, we'll be forwarding that as well as everything else.
All right. First. All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. No response. Bench warrant will issue for defendant's failure to appear. Bond is setting. Pardon? Okay. Hold on.
Unmute. I was trying to find the unmute. I'm sorry, sir.
Okay. What's your name?
Otis Elliott, sir.
All right.
I'm requesting,
No, I won't issue the bench warrant.
thank you.
I still
Please.
should. I still should.
No,
You should
please.
know. You should know where the mute button is.
I'm sorry.
All right. You do it next time. Next time, I'm going to give a warrant, but I'll take it back this
Yes.
time.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Your Honor, I need some more discovery in this case. I'm requesting adjournment.
I'm going to adjourn your matter to May 20th, 2026, 9 a.m.
Yes, sir.
There'll be a test on the commands in Zoom. All right. Take care.
I'll be prepared.
All right. Your name?
Jennifer Adams.
Miss Adams, you are before the court on a misdemeanor citation that alleges that on or about July 7, 2024, East Michigan, Washington County, State of Michigan, that you operated a motor vehicle without security, meaning without insurance.
Yes.
All right. That is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 1 year incarceration. Fine not less than $200, but no more than $500 fine plus court costs. You understand that?
Yes.
All right. First question I have for you is, do you want to be represented by an attorney?
No, sir.
Really?
It's not necessary. I didn't have insurance at the time and I understand.
Well, hold on. I don't want you saying anything about it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So if you don't, so what are you going to do today?
I've already paid the ticket itself and the bond. As I was just going to pay the warrant fee today as well. I just wanted to get it.
Are you
away.
sure?
The warrant fee is $50, correct?
Yeah.
I have that.
You just want,
And I currently have insurance.
oh, okay. Hold on. You just want this done?
Yes, sir.
And so you want to take a misdemeanor to have it done? Why would you want a misdemeanor on your record?
I don't
Don't?
know.
Don't you think an attorney might be able to help you with that?
Maybe, but I am guilty. I did not have.
Well, hold on a second. Hold on. Stop that.
Okay.
All right.
I apologize.
Because no, just listen. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. Got it? But sometimes there's a way to take care of these things without you
Obtaining a
have
charge
a
in the
mis-
process.
huh?
I said obtaining a charge in the process.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. If that's a possibility, can't say it will happen, but if that's a possibility, wouldn't you rather do something like that?
Yes, sir.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you know how to do that?
No.
Okay. So I'll ask again. Do you want to be represented by an attorney?
Yes, please.
Yeah, it would be necessary then. Okay, this is a PD case.
This other sphere exotic information.
Okay.
Assistant Public Defendant Nicholas Buckovich on behalf of Ms. Adams. At this time, Your Honor will be standing mute as to the charges. We will first waive any other formal weakening of the complaint and then stand mute of the charges, Your Honor. And as this is a no insurance case, I believe a PR bond will be more than appropriate.
Mr. Cook.
Your Honor, I have no objection to any bullshit bond record, but I would ask, instead of adjourning, if we could just briefly pass this matter. I believe I heard the defendant previously indicate she has insurance now. If that proof can be provided in a couple of minutes, I'd be more than happy to dismiss this case at that time.
Wow. You got that?
It's in my cell phone in my vehicle, but I have,
You got it somewhere?
yes, it's in my
You can
vehicle.
get it?
Yes.
And then at that point, look what happened. You were going to plead, pay a bunch of money, do whatever.
I just wanted to.
This, I know, but this is,
Now it's really going.
see, and you know who you can thank for it? You know who you can thank for that? Mr. Buckovich. He got up there, scared Mr. Cook. He's willing to do something. All right. Okay. All right. Do me a favor. I'm going to pass the matter. Go out, get your proof of insurance.
Okay.
All right. You're welcome. Don't thank him. Don't thank him.
Clerk, can you please state your name to the judge and put your hands out of your pocket?
Troy Brisky.
I have before me a plea form that indicates going to plead to count 2 of operating while intoxicated. Okay.
Yes, Your Honor. I don't know that he's been arraigned. I don't know if that's so for arraignment purposes, the waiver reading to stand mute.
Defendant every way from a reading standing mute. Court will enter a not guilty plea. 6. All right.
Two quick housekeeping matters when I can, Your Honor. Number one, my client's given me permission to tell the court he is on the autism spectrum, so he has a little difficulty with communication, but I think we're going to help him through that today.
Okay.
And 2, Mr. Siller and I, this is a bit of a unique one. He was evaluated by Von Schwartz in advance of the plea, so that step is done.
That's already done. Okay. Fantastic. All right. The plea form indicates that he's going to plead to count 2, the operating while intoxicated, in a 93-day offense. Upon a successful plea to that charge, count 1 would be dismissed. That's the court's full understanding. Is that correct, counsel?
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right. All right. Sir, if there's anything I do or say you don't understand, you just need to let me know, okay? We'll make it through, okay? All right. Can you raise your right hand to be sworn? Do you solemnly swear or affirm testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right. State your name again for me.
Troy Brisky.
All right. You can put your hand down. All right, sir. This court's understanding that you're pleading guilty to the charge of operating while intoxicated. That's a misdemeanor punishable by up to 93 days in jail, up to a $500 fine plus court costs. The court can order community service or any rehabilitative services the court deems necessary. And that? The court can also order your vehicle immobilized, could order you to pay the cost of the prosecution as well as the cost of any emergency governmental services. Got it? Okay. Understanding all of that, you still wish to plead guilty?
Yes, sir.
All right. So to that charge, how do you plead? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
All right. Now you understand that by pleading guilty, you'll not have a trial of any kind.
Yes, sir.
All right. You signed and went through with your attorney and advice rights form. Do you have any question regarding any of those rights?
No, sir.
All right. Look at paragraph 5. There's a copy on the podium. Those are your rights which are part of a trial You understand that by pleading guilty, you'll be giving up those rights as well as all the rights on that form.
Sure.
All right. You understand you're giving up your right to appeal of right. All right. Are you on probation or parole? Anybody promised you anything other than what's been stated here today to get you to plead?
No, sir.
Anybody threaten you or coerce you?
No, sir.
You're doing this voluntarily and of your own free will? All right. And also because you believe that you're guilty?
Yes, sir.
All right. On the date of February 8th, 2026, location of Washington Avenue in Pittsfield Township, Washington County, State of Michigan. Were you operating a motor vehicle?
Yes, sir.
All right. Prior to operating that motor vehicle, did you have something to drink?
Yes, sir.
All right. Do you know remember what you had and how much?
Jack Daniels.
Okay. Were you stopped by the police or was there an accident?
I was stopped.
All right. Do you know why they stopped you?
I believe under in the red light.
Running a red light? Okay. Were you arrested at some point? All right. Were you taken to the hospital? All right. Did they do a blood test? All right. Do you recall what the results of that blood test were?
I don't remember.
Your Honor, we could stipulate for the purpose of the plea, the blood came back at 0.28.
288.
Yes.
All right.
That's correct, Your Honor, 0.288.
All right. Do you have any reason to dispute those test results?
No, sir.
All right. So I do have to tell you, if between the time of my acceptance of your plea, which I'll do in a minute, and the time that I sentence you, if you commit misconduct as it's defined by the court rules, the court would no longer be bound by any sentence evaluation or recommendation, and you could not withdraw your plea. Do you understand that? All right. Counsel, are you aware of any other promises, threats, or other inducements which have led to this plea?
No, Your Honor.
And have I complied with the court rule?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Court will accept the defendant's plea to count 2. Count 1 is dismissed. Defendant, you said he's already done it.
He has. I'll provide that to probation, Your Honor.
All right. But I'll refer him to Von Schwartz for an alcohol screening and assessment and the victim's impact panel. Sentencing in this case will be June 10th, 2026, 9 a.m. As to his bond in this case, I'll set his bond at $25,000 personal recognizance bond. I'll order standard conditions, including no assaultive behavior, possession of any weapons or firearms. You understand that? All right. No possession of any alcohol, recreational marijuana, or any illegal drug. You understand that?
Sir.
All right. I'm also going to order that you report over to community corrections for placement on a, given the circumstances, will a sober link work for him? Or
I believe it will, Your Honor. I explained that to him.
okay. Community corrections for placement on the sober link testing device. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good morning, sir.
Liam Paul, Your Honor.
Thank you. I have before me a plea form that indicates that he's going to be pleading to an added count 2 of operating while intoxicated, the 93-day offense. Upon a successful plea to that charge, count 1 would be dismissed. That's the court's full understanding of it.
That's correct, Your Honor.
That's correct, Your Honor.
May I have him sworn?
Raise your right hand. Solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give the court to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
State your first and last name for the record.
Liam Hall. All right. Sir, it's this court's understanding that you're going to be pleading guilty to the charge of operating while intoxicated. That's a misdemeanor punishable by up to 93 days of jail, up to a $500 fine plus court costs. The court could order any community service or rehabilitative services the court deems necessary. The court could order your vehicle immobilized, could order you to pay the cost of the prosecution, as well as the cost of any emergency governmental services. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Still wish to plead guilty?
Yes, Your Honor.
And to that charge, how do you plead?
Guilty, Your Honor.
Now, you understand that by pleading guilty, you'll not have a trial of any kind.
Yes, Your Honor.
You signed an advice of rights form, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any question regarding any of those rights?
No, Your Honor.
Please look at paragraph 5. You'll see a copy on the podium. Those are your rights which are part of a trial. You understand by pleading guilty, you'll be giving up those rights as well as all the rights on that form.
Yes, Your Honor.
You understand you're giving up your right to appeal of right.
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you on probation or parole?
No, Your Honor.
Has anybody promised you anything other than what's been stated here today to get you to plead?
No, Your Honor.
Anybody threaten you or coerce you?
No, Your Honor.
Doing this voluntarily and of your own free will?
Your Honor.
And also because you believe that you're guilty of this offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
On the date of December 3rd, 2025, I-94 in Pittsfield Township, Washington County, State of Michigan, were you operating a motor vehicle?
I was, Your Honor.
Prior to operating that motor vehicle, did you consume the intoxicating liquor?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you recall what you had and how much?
I had 4 whiskeys, Your Honor.
All right. Were you stopped by the police or was there an accident?
I was involved in a single vehicle accident, Your Honor.
All right. So you went out the road somehow?
Yes, Your Honor. There was snow on the ground.
Yeah, snow on the ground and alcohol in your system. I get it.
Yes, Your Honor.
And so were you ultimately arrested?
Yes, Your Honor.
Were you taken to the hospital?
Yes, Your Honor.
And was there a blood test?
Your Honor.
And were the results of that blood test a .226?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have any reason to dispute those blood test results?
No, Your Honor.
Sir, I do have to advise you, between the time that I accept your plea and the time of sentencing, if you commit misconduct as defined under the Michigan court rules, you would not be entitled to withdraw your plea and the court would not be bound by any sentence evaluation or recommendation. You understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Counsel, aware of any other promises, threats, or other inducements which have led to this plea?
No, Your Honor.
And have I complied with the court?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will accept the defendant's plea to count 2. Count 1 is dismissed. Defendant is referred to Von Swartz for an alcohol screening and assessment and the victim's impact panel. Sentencing in this matter will be June 10th, 2026, 9 a.m. All right. Bond continued.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. Not here. We don't have Mr. Brooks.
No, Judge, no. I was appointed yesterday on this case.
Were you?
I looking to see if they didn't forward me his contact information. However, I did represent him earlier on a probation violation, 2 probation violations before Judge Conlon when we returned to court for a sentencing on May 20th. So I'm asking that this court not issue a warrant. When I visited him on April 3rd in Washington County Jail, he knew that a case was coming down for something that happened in the jail. But I don't think he knew anything more. And I was not his lawyer then on that case. So here I am.
You see what she's doing, Ann?
What's that?
Miss Burnwell doesn't show up for like ages. Just ages. Have to even say something the last time she was on Zoom that she doesn't come to see us anymore. Then she shows up, no client, but then asking me to adjourn it out. Boy, oh boy. It's good seeing you, counsel.
I see you, Judge.
I'll adjourn it to May 20th. Because we had done something last time with his case, because he was in on my bond, and I made his PR bond effective the 29th.
No, it's May 20th that we're in front of Judge Conlon, though.
Right. No, I get that, but I gave him a PR bond effective the 29th of April.
Oh.
So that's probably why, or maybe part of why he's not here. Otherwise, he would have been in, but we thought he would be out anyway. But anyway, I'll adjourn the matter May 20th, 2026, 9 a.m.
Right. Okay.
All right. Bond to continue. Thank you.
Thank you.
In this courtroom session, the judge manages a heavy docket involving multiple defendants, mostly related to DUI offenses, bond violations, and minor traffic crimes. A clear theme emerges. The court is balancing legal accountability with rehabilitation opportunities. Several defendants admit guilt, especially in OWI, operating while intoxicated cases, where the judge carefully confirms blood alcohol levels, prior convictions, and voluntary guilty pleas. Despite the seriousness of repeat DUI offenses, the court consistently orders screening programs, victim impact panels, and sobriety monitoring devices instead of immediate long-term incarceration, showing a focus on structured rehabilitation. One emotionally significant moment comes when a defendant breaks down after admitting relapse in alcohol use. The judge acknowledges the violation but still considers treatment-based supervision options like Scram or SoberLink, highlighting a judicial preference for recovery over punishment when possible. In contrast, a procedural moment involving a no-insurance misdemeanor shows how quickly cases can resolve when defendants are guided properly. Here, legal counsel helps avoid unnecessary convictions by producing proof of insurance.